just like how football and sports challenged me to grow personally and mentally, I liked getting that same challenge from, running a business because I never liked being the same person. And I do tend to thrive when I'm forced to evolve. I'm from Southern California and I run my business in Sacramento, California. I'm from the Crenshaw district. Very familiar. Rapper Nipsey Hussle's from the area. I actually grew up a math and science geek. I'm a big anime head. I just found out I was athletic in ninth grade, so that kind of panned out. I played Division II football in Colorado, the CSU Pueblo, and from there I kind of transitioned into the sales industry. Funny enough, I was born an introvert, but I developed extrovert skills. I was actually going to go into the medical field, but I found out a lot of it had to do with being in a lab for 18 hours. And that was like a complete opposition to who my personality was. I actually always hated sales growing up. And I told myself, I'd never be a salesperson. Like, that's impossible. Like, I wouldn't do that. So yeah, it was kind of something I opposed until came into the industry. And what I liked most about it was just like how football and sports challenged me to grow personally and mentally. I liked getting that same challenge from, running a business because I never liked being the same person. And I do tend to thrive when I'm forced to evolve. So funny enough, I played at Crenshaw High my freshman year. That was like my first year ever playing football. Coaches were like, hey, this guy's got some talent. He just needs more time. My mom actually does not like football. So I didn't play for about 2 years. Senior year in high school, I play again. I'm kind of getting my rings. And I actually had a decision on whether or not to go to junior college or try to walk on at a big university. At the time, I'm 18, my ego's through the roof. I'm like, I'm good enough to go do this right now. So I went. Fun fact, I did make the cut. And I was actually at another crossroads. So typically the junior college route, most athletes won't want to do because the pride of, I didn't make it initially. So that was a big character developing moment for myself where I said, hey, to get to where I'm going, I'm willing to make that sacrifice. So I actually went to West LA Junior College, spent 2 years there. And my second season, I actually earned a scholarship to my Division II school that I went to. Funny enough, if you look at my freshman year at junior college, it was like, yeah. Then like the last 2 games, it was like, this guy might have something. So building on that and just getting used to the grind, the work ethic, and long-term, how to market myself is actually what I learned. A lot of what football and sports is just high-level business marketing. You have to market yourself to potential clients, which are the schools. So kind of understanding like, hey, what makes me more marketable? Obviously, there's going to be the grades, but in terms of asset, okay, I'm more marketable if I can play multiple positions versus one. I'm more marketable if I'm ready to play right now versus, hey, he's got an injury or things like that. I'm more marketable if it's, hey, I can qualify as an NCAA candidate and I also have my AA degree. I'm more marketable when I say, hey, I'm also, good with the schooling so I can actually help out other teammates, things like that. So really dialing into what I knew was going to get me there. And certain relationships I had too. I built those, people with different connections, client, things like that. So I think all of those worked in my favor. I think the biggest misconception about sales is like, you have to be born to do it. You have to have this natural lineage of just the greatest gift of gab speakers. But learning that sales is actually a skill built on repetition and just doing it. And a lot of it, isn't the dogma that, you have to be this like crappy car salesman or dishonest or kind of throw people for a loop, but you actually tend to do way better at sales when you're just honest and transparent. So kind of learning that firsthand made me a lot more confident in doing it because at the end of the day, I like to sleep at night knowing that I'm providing what I say I'm going to provide. And on the off chance it doesn't go that way, I'm here to support you to get what we intended to do. So we're currently working with AT&T and Costco. And I think just the Costco brand name has such a big emphasis on loyalty, transparency, and really take care of the customer. So I myself as a business owner align with those values. So it's very easy for me to drive that product because I feel more comfortable telling a member like, hey, we're inside this retailer because you pay to be here, you trust them, and I trust their ethics, which is why I'm going to deliver on what I say I'm going to give. And as well as AT&T, very large telecom communication business. So I think aligning morally with them helps me to kind of lead with confidence when I'm presenting the products to the customer. That's something, just growing up, the people I was around, my father, he ran a good business, and, he was always talked about for the friends, family, as somebody who ran an honest business. Like, his books were clean. He did it right by his employees. His name never came up in anything that wasn't professional or anything like that. So I always liked the way he was able to come home, and any time people interacted with him, it was always, hey, he did what he said he was going to do. So I kind of just, like that myself, because I said, I don't want to be the salesperson where it's, hey, somebody got ripped off. They're like, another one got me. I want to be that transformative experience of, hey, there actually might be decent people out here in the world. So that's kind of my goal. So I believe that's exactly where it came from. Initially, he was in the medical contracting business. So I actually got to watch him build the business over the course of my young childhood. So seeing him build it from the ground up, the work ethic. At the time, I'm just bored in my dad's van running orders. I'm like, I guess we go to Universal Studios after this. But as I got older and really started to look back on the memories, I realized, hey, he put in a lot of work up front before where, I got to high school, he's got an office, there's employees, there's inventory. So seeing how that leap happened, but understanding where the work came from, it just naturally instilled into me hey, there's delayed gratification if anything's gonna be worth it. I'm most grateful for really the mentorship I've received, being able to have people that are experienced in helping out successful business. I always look at it like anybody familiar with Kitchen Nightmares or Gordon Ramsay and the other guy who saves places. It's like, any business owner would kill to be able to say, let me reach out to a top professional and get their help. Except, I've been fortunate enough to not have to submit an application on a TV show and have that access. So I'm most grateful for that. I think the biggest challenge in being a business owner is just not being reactive emotionally to initial problems, and then just understanding it's more about how you conduct through the chaos versus being reactive to it. So, understanding hey, I am going to take these challenges on. We are going to take a hit, but future planning, we're going to get over it and not make this mistake again. So just keeping a level head. I think one of the coolest things is just how it's impacted my personal life. I've been able to have way better conversations, that are critical in a personal setting. Whereas, 2-3 years ago, I'm kind of emotional, in terms of I probably get flared out, but being able to communicate through tough emotional turmoil has really helped me a lot just in my marriage, in my personal life with my friends, family, things like that. If I'm going off of what my favorite book growing up was, top one was The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. Just because of the journey and how he transforms throughout it, that always resonated with me. And they were just very real about, points where he did get stuck. It wasn't just the proverbial up and to the right. He had lulls, he had downs, and he came up. Currently, it's going to be Winning by Tim Grover. I think Tim Grover just does a really great way of highlighting the reality of what it takes to win and the recurring effort you have to put in no matter how many times you do it. So I would say that would be it right now. What has surprised me the most about being a business owner is how much you're actually still learning. Even though you do own the business, you're learning just as much as the people you're impacting. And, the second you stop learning, the second you're not able to teach anymore. So I think learning that, hey, it's not so much that, hey, people work for me, I'm just in charge. It's I actually have to cater to more people, and I'm at the service of more. I'm at service to the clients, the employees, the relationships. There's all sorts of levels. I have way more relationships to maintain. So I just realized, hey, I'm more in a service position now more than ever. So the top things I'm looking for, when I'm looking to onboard someone, I'm really looking at one, the client first. How does this candidate fit into the client that we're currently representing from a compliance standpoint? Because without compliance, we're not gonna have any clients. Hey, can I see you in a Costco, properly maintaining to that client? Can I see you properly maintaining to AT&T, these top level places? And if I can see that based on, communication, ability to hold a conversation, a certain level of natural confidence, and just some level of student mentality, I feel like those are the things I'm looking for, because at the end of the day, you can't coach good character, but you can coach the sales skills. So I want the character first, I'll teach the skill. I attribute my success to past failures. I was fortunate enough to fail at different things. Now, although in the moment when I was failing at those things, my world's crumbling down, my confidence is taking a hit, but always having that drive of knowing, hey, at some point I'm going to figure it out. So when I did come into the industry and saw the actual opportunity based on everything I had done before with sales, like I've worked in different industries where there's a literal cap on your development. There's no growth, there's no mentorship. It's just go sell, make money and go to sleep. And for me, I wanted to run a business where it was an even exchange financially and on the personal and professional development of my employees. Because at the end of the day, I want a culture where people feel like this job impacted me beneficially, whether I stayed or didn't make it all the way. So for me, it was just, kind of looking at it as I can actually take this and see immediate results. It's just based on my hard work. It mirrored sports perfectly. If I go out and put extra hours in on my footwork, I'm gonna have better footwork than somebody. If I go out, watch more film, I should be more knowledgeable. If I apply all the extra that I'm doing, I can get the results that I'm working for. So I like being able to have 100% control. I come from an immigrant family. I'm Nigerian, first generation. A lot of what we're taught and instilled is doctor, lawyer, or doctor. So I had a lot of options on what to be growing up. And it was one of the things of, because the expectation was you're gonna do good in school, I did good in school. I didn't like math or science. Well, actually, I lied. I do like science. I just didn't see myself doing it as a career, but I was good at it because I worked at it. I think the biggest misconception about door-to-door sales is that, oh my God, everyone's just mean and it's gonna be chaotic and you're gonna get chased by wolves. You actually find out most people are generally okay. Per week in the field, I was probably averaging $800 to $1,200 a week. My biggest challenge so far as a business owner is really developing my radar in terms of who to spend more time with. I think one of the things we learn as a business owner very fast is we're human. You can't be everywhere all the time at once. And in that, you have to make a very business decision on who do I spend my time with in terms of, will this enable the business to grow by spending time with this individual or not? I think it's challenging just because naturally you want to help everyone, but if you try to catch two bunnies at once, you'll catch none. But if you try to catch one, you at least have a chance. I think the best business advice I've ever been given was, as simple as it sounds, was just don't quit. It's a game of attrition. Naturally, things happen that knock people off course, and it's the ones that are able to stay the course that end up having the stories that you hear about, the Tony Robbins and the other big people, because life's going to happen. Unfortunately, things will happen in your life as we get older and mature, but it's being able to weather that storm that kind of gives you that rubber band effect to bounce back harder than you ever could have fallen back. My biggest advice to someone that's looking to run a business and have a personal life is go full towards it, because one of the things I previously was, a misconception I had was that, oh, well, if I want to have a lot of money in business, I have to sacrifice personal life. So naturally you tend to say, okay, well, maybe I'll just make some good money that we can have a decent personal life, where it's actually the opposite. If you thrive in your business, naturally you're going to be more confident, you're going to be developing. So for your partner, that's something that's exciting. And as well as if you're running an effective business, you should be good at time management. So what that should tell you is how to prioritize quality time with your partner to ensure that you're growing the business and growing your relationship, because just kind of hanging out after work and just being present 5 days a week isn't as great as, hey, we have a scheduled time for maybe 1 or 2 hours where all my attention is on you, no work calls, and I'm fully engaged. That goes a longer way, and it actually garners respect and support from your partner to actually keep doing the business.